Hey everybody, welcome to another video review. So this is my first segment of the Blood Rage painted miniatures, taking a look at the Wild Boar clan. This one is a little bit special. It's the first clan I'm going to look at, and it's a little bit special because I am not able to show you a contrast between the painted version and the unpainted version. This clan is only available for those who supported the Blood Rage project when it was first initially put out as a Kickstarter. And so you can't really buy this from the store. It can only be, you can only basically acquire this from the secondary market, like on eBay, which is what I did. And so I don't have an unpainted version because I only got one set, of course. It's not that cheap. And that's painted. So this will be one of the few where you will not be able to compare. So let me start with the leader. So all the leaders, of course, have the totem pole. So again, this is the Wild Boar. I'm going to just kind of take a look at the base, first of all. So they did a wonderful job with the base. I think actually what they had to do in order to make this happen is they actually had to probably cut the miniature off the base, because when you buy it, of course, all these miniatures are plastic. And so they're all of one piece, I think. And so in order for you to add the grass effect and sort of the broken, stone effect and all of this stuff to add the character, the so-called accent to the miniature, I don't think you can actually achieve that by going around the feet. It's kind of hard to do. So I think they actually did have to maybe cut the miniature off or something and then do it. I'm not sure, exactly the detail of how they went about this. But in any case, the base is beautifully done. I really love the sort of little details that they put on there. Again, it's a little accent and done very well. So now I'm going to move up. I tried to do this with flash, by the way, but it just, at this range, because these are miniatures, they're so tiny, at the range that you really need to go to appreciate the detail, the flash just destroys everything. It just washes everything out. I can't even focus on it. So all of these will be done without the benefit of flash, but that's okay because, as you can see, I'm luckily able to hold it up with one hand, and you can actually just kind of appreciate, hopefully, the amazing detail and paint work that went into this. I want to see how close I can get. So if you get too close, obviously, it just kind of blurs. So I think this is about as close as I can get and still sort of maintain clarity, so you can actually see all of this wonderful detail. So look at that. That's the totem of the Wild Boar. You can see sort of the gold accent, the gold nose ring through the boar's nose, the tusks, the hair. Obviously, all of these totem poles are plastic, which is a little bit annoying because they do tend to bend and warp, and painting it doesn't help that or prevent that. But you can slowly heat it up if you need to with a blow dryer and straighten it out if you have to. Here's the leader of the Wild Boar himself. Look at the muscle definition. By the way, this is all plastic. So it's one thing, painting with this level of detail on resin, but plastic is a lot softer, and for her to still be able to bring out such incredible contrast and pop so much effect is just astounding. Take a look at the metalwork, wonderful metalwork. You can kind of appreciate all of the detail of the armor. Here's the Wild Boar armor. There's the sword sheath. All the colors just pop beautifully. Take a look at the weathering of the helmet. So just amazing to see. Here you go from the side. And then let's kind of turn them around. You can see the huge double-bladed battle axe sheathed across the back. Very, very nice texture of the cloak, the leather of the boots, and then, of course, the sheath for the sword. Wild Boar clan leader. Again, just a stunning job, and hopefully you can appreciate that on this close-up right here in my hand. Usually the backs are not quite as interesting, as the fronts. It just kind of usually just shows like, like a fur coat or something like that, a fur cloak. But in his case, his back is pretty cool too. He's got that big battle axe on the back and everything. Okay, so we're gonna put him aside. All right, so next up, the way these clans are organized, there's 8 soldiers per clan. So 1 leader, 8 soldiers, and 4 of the soldiers are just duplicates, right? They're of one type. So there's 2 types of soldiers, but there's 8 total, 4 of each type. So this is type number 1. I'm gonna be trying to be real careful. So again, take a look at the base, a lot of stonework, really, really cool patterns over here. Just wanted to show that off a little bit. It's really, really nice. And then here he is. So the Wild Boar Soldier version 1 shows them like a mid-sprint. This is a pretty awesome pose. Kudos to Cool Mini or Not for really rewarding the Kickstarter supporters with a pretty awesome looking exclusive clan, and great sort of motion. So it looks like he's just sprinting down at you. Axe in each hand. Again, great metal work by Mina there on both sides. And then again, I'm gonna pull forward a little bit so the light can shine on this thing. Take a look at all the awesome color, the contrast, the shading, the armor. So all of these guys, all of these Wild Boar guys have this like boar armor across their abdomens, their belt. So that's really, really cool. A lot of great detail there. They have the sword sheathed along the back. Here's the, look at that. I mean, this is crazy. It's a miniature. You can actually see the eye. Look at that. They even got the eye detail in there. So obviously they're all painting this under a magnifying glass, under magnification. And to really appreciate it almost, you feel like you have to put on like loupes or magnification to really appreciate it. So here, but I'm trying to just do it through an iPhone video. So here you can see the little hint of the sheath, the hilt. Look at that. Pretty amazing all throughout. So that's Wild Boar Soldier Type 1. Now, we're going to go through a few more of these. And I hope you'll notice that they're all maybe a little bit different, because I didn't want to paint them exactly the same. I thought that would be a little bit boring. So here you can see that the base no longer has stonework. It's just like a field with grass. And he has a little bit slightly different coloration than the first one. Not too drastic because they are supposed to be from the same clan, but I kind of like instructed the painter to sort of, make them almost like they're different soldiers, but just like, they have uniforms, but you want them to have a little bit of individuality, but make it clear that they're still from the same clan. So that's why, you'll see that she'll change up little things like hair color and maybe some minor details like the color of the sash or the, or the fur, just a little bit, so that you get a little bit of variety. And that's something kind of I wanted them to try to do. So this is number 2. Very nice. Okay, I'm gonna put this down. And here you're gonna be really, really careful because these guys are only on 1 foot. And so I mentioned before that I think in order for them to make the base, a lot of times they have to cut the miniature off the base and then reattach with the glue. But these guys are only held on by 1 single attachment point. So I think here you can clearly see the differences. Here you go. And the problem with being attached only at 1 point is, and you're glued at that, since you cut off the plastic attachment, it's just pretty easy to come off, especially, with the jostling during the international shipping. And so there were 4 or 5 of them that actually just kind of got knocked off. But luckily, because of the way they're packed, And it's not like you have paint chips everywhere, and it just always comes off or detaches where the foot attached to the base. And so a little tiny amount of gel control super glue applied with a thin toothpick, with the point of a toothpick. You don't want a lot, and it usually just settles right in, and it just blends perfectly. You can't even see where the guy came off. But definitely it is something to be careful of, especially for this guy. He's a very high risk for snapping off. So, packing him, you probably do want to pack him as if he's a monster or something like that. Just separately, not any plastic shell where he's coming. I think he's originally placed in like a little plastic shell, but that's not good enough. You have to take him out, wrap him in a little bit of bubble wrap, and then just place him in peanuts so that he has that extra cushion. So there he is, pretty awesome. Yeah, I can see a lot of people playing with the Wild Boar clan. These are really awesome, sculpts. Okay, last one of Soldier Type A. So here this guy is coming at you. Again, just really unique. Really love the whole running in mid-stride, capturing all of that. And then this guy, of course, has the stone as well at the bottom. Usually 2 of them have the stone base, and the other 2 have the grass base, is usually how I've noticed the division. So here he is. I mean, this is for me as well, as much as for you guys, because, when you're playing with these, you can't really appreciate the beautiful work. You can kind of tell because your eyes can just tell how much they pop, but, you have to look real close to see how awesome they are. So this is sort of also like a video record of, again, how amazing the paint is. So I can actually look at it myself. I just kind of, admire it. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to go on to Soldier Type 2. So the one guy is running in mid-step, and this guy's just sort of marching along with a huge war hammer, I guess is what you would call it. Let's back up, get the perfect distance. So again, there's like a perfect distance where, as you can see, a little bit too close, and you're going to blur up. So you want to get just the right distance where it pops back into focus. And this appears to be like the magic distance right here. So here we go. Here's the back. Here's the base. Again, here you have the stone formation. Armbands, great coloration. So by the way, in a regular game, the bases are not obviously decorated. It's not customized. It's just simple plastic. And you snap it into this colored disc, and you snap them on and off. But I think that's in the interest of saving space or something, because obviously the Wild Boar is always going to be purple, and this miniature is specific to the Wild Boar clan. So for the interest of just efficiency and just space, these colored rings are all permanently glued to the base, so you don't have to snap them in and out. So again, all of the Wild Boar soldiers have their faces covered by their helmets. I kind of like the first version a little bit better. I mean, he's cool. This guy's cool too, but there's just something about the guy running that's, to me, pretty awesome. Here you can take a look at the sword swinging on the guy's right hip. Looking ready to do some damage. Real nice. Okay, here we go. Let's put him back. Okay, your turn. Again, stone background or stone base. I'm still blown away by the fact that, you know, she's able to put like a little pupil in the eye at this scale. It's just like mind-boggling. Like, look at my finger. So yeah, Top Miniatures definitely did a unspeakably great job, actually. I think this might be one of their first major projects that has to do with maybe like fantasy. But I don't know, they do a lot of fantasy with like, you know, Warhammer and stuff like that. They got dragons and demons and such, but I guess maybe the first one with a Norse background, Norse mythology. Here's the third one. As you can see, there's no stone at the base. This is just dirt and grass. Look at the metal work on the hammer. Really nice weathering. You can see the top knot of hair. You get the detail of the metal affixed to the wooden shaft. Real good. And then the last one right here. So I'm not as worried about touching it. You know, you do have to touch it every once in a while to play with them and also to kind of showcase them. I mean, you don't want to do it all the time, but they do put a nice layer of lacquer over it. They seal it, and so it does protect it from incidental drops or, you know, incidental touches. It's pretty resistant to scratches and things like that. I mean, if you're playing this thing every day, obviously, this becomes a concern. But there are occasional rare times you break it out to play. There shouldn't be any issues again with damage to the paint. You know, it's sealed pretty nicely. I think this offers a very nice contrast, you know, to the first type, who's like running, and this guy's just sort of slowly marching along. Again, hopefully you can appreciate all the detail work, the detail painting. It's just bananas at this scale for them to achieve that. All right, so now that's basically the core set, right, along with the ships and stuff. Now, if you want to buy a expansion called the Mystics or Shamans of Midgard, then it adds another 2 miniatures. These are the Shamans. And of course I bought that, so I have an extra 2 of these guys for every clan. So this is the Wild Boar Shaman design. I love it. So they got their staff going on. Look at the huge skull that he's wearing. He has a nose ring. Again, gorgeous detail brought out by the painter Mina. And then look at all the pouches, all individually painted. The dagger, the medicinal pouch, the necklace, the amulets, the little tiny, I mean, this is crazy. She even painted the little tiny, you know, metal jangling from his cloak. A nice base. He is stepping on a piece of stonework. All the stonework have runes on them, which is extra detail. And then here's the back. You can see he has long hair. And then again, more metallic detail, jangles that she caught all of that. Some great work right there. So that's Shaman number 1, or Mystic number 1, depending on how you want to look at it. Here's Mystic number 2. As you can see, there's a subtle detail differences. you can rewind to look at the first one, but you can definitely see that this is a different one. So it's like almost like there's two mystics, right? They're not identical. They are like, you know, different people. Or at least that's the conceit I like to give. Slightly different costume, different colors. Yeah, look at all the different things. This is one of the hardest mystics, I think, to paint, just because there's so much going on here. He's almost as complicated, essentially, as a leader in terms of the detail. Pretty cool. All right. Here you go here. You'll see that the beard is a little bit different color. All right. And then we have a ship. Every one of these clans has a ship. So the sea effect is glossed, so it looks like a shiny water. And then the sail is what tells you the color of the ship and what clan it belongs to. It's purple, so the Wild Boar clan obviously is purple, as you can appreciate. This is a so-called level 2 paint job out of 4, but you can tell they still do a very nice job. A lot of texturing, and you can see sort of the individual oars of the longboat right over here. You know, still nice details. There's just not as much to do, obviously, because it's just a ship. There's only so much detail you can do. Man, are these like individual? I think those are like people on that longboat. Are there shields or something like that? So that's pretty crazy that there's actually people there. I mean, that is like a miniature on a miniature, right? It's like a mini, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, I don't expect her to paint that if that's the case. I can barely make it out myself. But yeah, so there you go. That's the ship. They're all gonna look alike except for the sail. And then finally, let's dip down a little bit. This is something called the glory marker. There's one for each clan, and you put them on the perimeter of the board, and this keeps track of how much glory you've earned and who wins. So this basically comes as is, but I just wanted them to add a little touch of pizzazz to it. It comes in purple, but the skull is also purple, and so what I wanted them to do was just kind of paint a kind of nice, realistic, bony white to accent it. So I think that looks really, really cool, and we'll be able to compare that, you know, for another clan to the unpainted version. So yeah, really, really nice. Not much, but you know, makes a difference. And then these are the clan tokens. You have 4 of them, one for each of the rage, horns, and what is it, glory, right? On your individual clan sheet, and then one to kind of tell you how much rage you have. So there's every clan has 4 of these. So of course here is the clan token for the Wild Boar, and there's 4 of them. You know, I didn't ask for too much crazy detail. As you can see, this is a reasonably simple sculpt. I like the nice red eyes. So there's 4 of these guys. Painted all very nicely. There you go. And this is extra. You know, typically these tokens are just like cardboard cutouts, but these are 3-dimensional representations, which I think is really, really neat. And so, you know, you do have to pay for that. And of course, this is all Kickstarter exclusive. All right, there you go. So every clan has the leader, and then the 4 soldiers, and then the 2 shamans, a ship, and then the 4 clan tokens, and then the glory marker. So hopefully putting these are the unique versions together. I'll put the this out of the way. So hopefully you can kind of see in contrast. These are the 4 designs of the Wild Boar clan. So there's the leader, soldier version 1, soldier version 2, and then a shaman. Real nice. All right, so that's the Wild Boar clan. Hope you enjoyed that. Until next time, until the next clan, I'll see you then. Take care.